Hi guys, today we would look at change of subject or formula. When we write an equation in terms of a prescribed variable, it is called a formula. However, the subject of that formula could be changed anytime we want. So we have a problem, an example in front of us. It says if gt squared minus k minus w equals 0, make g number one, the subject, and number two, make K the subject. So we're going to start with the first one, which is G. So I'm going to write the expression again. So we have GT squared minus K minus W equals to 0. If you want to change the subject of a formula, all you just simply need to do is, since we are trying to make G the subject, we're simply trying to say every other term should be on the right hand side, while G alone will be left on the left hand side. So what do? I'm going to take the terms one after the other to the other side. So the negative W crosses and it becomes positive W, also negative K. So I'm going to be left with GT squared equals to W plus K. Then I need to take T squared off too, because what I'm interested in is making G the subject. So I'm going to divide through by T squared. Then I'm going to be left with G equals W plus K over T squared. So this is the formula when we make G the subject. This is the formula. Yeah, so for the second part of the question, it says make K the subject of formula. So from the same equation, we have GT squared minus K minus W equals to 0. So this time I'm going to take minus W the other side and also GT squared. So I'm going to be left with minus K equals to W minus GT squared. Then since I have minus K on this side, what I'm not looking for minus K, rather I'm looking for K. Okay, an expression for K and not for negative K. So I can simply divide through by minus 1. So this is going to be minus 1 minus 1. Then this becomes positive K. This becomes positive K equals to, and this becomes minus W GT squared. Of course, if I'm to open the bracket, then this becomes minus W plus GT squared equals to K. So in trying to rearrange this, I'm going to get K to be equal to GT squared minus W. So that is the value, the formula when K is made the subject. Then we have another example here. It says if V equals to pi r square h, make r the subject. So this is also another very simple one. So I'm going to write the expression again. The equation V equals pi r square h. I want to make r the subject of formula. Remember what we said. All we're interested in is r. Now, but what we have here is r squared. So the first thing I need to do is to take off the other attached letters. So this is, I'm going to divide through by pi h. Divide through by pi h. So this is going, they are going to cancel out. So I'm going to be left with r squared equals to v over pi h. Then the next thing I will do is, since I'm looking for r, and what I have here is r squared, so I'm simply going to take the square root of both sides. Now, when I take the square root of both sides, the r square becomes r, and this is now v over pi h squared. So I can just simply rewrite it this way. R equals to v over pi h. So this now becomes the subject. Then I'm going to take one final problem. And this one says if h equals to w squared over 2g, of course, being multiplied by r squared minus r squared, that's capital R and small letter r. So we want to make small letter r the subject. Now I need to also make this clear. When you have equations connected together, maybe the other letters attached together by maybe multiplication, for you to take off those letters that you don't want, you need to divide through. If they are connected by addition, for you to take the one you don't want off, then you need to subtract from both sides that unwanted one. So we're going to apply those same things here. If h equals to this, make r the subject. So the first thing I'm going to do is, this is 2g. I'm going to need to take off this 2g first. So since it's connected, its connection with this is division, then I'm going to simply multiply both sides by 2g. So I'm going to get 2gh equals to w squared over 2g r squared minus r squared. Of course, when I multiply this by 2g, then the 2g's, they cancel out. So I'm going to be left with 2gh equals w squared r squared minus r squared. Now the next thing is r squared is we need to take off w squared, sorry. Now the connection between w squared and this in brackets is simply multiplication. So I need to divide through by what I don't want, which is this. So w squared, w squared. Now this goes off. So I'm going to be left with 2gh over w squared equals to r squared minus r squared. Now, see our equation is gradually reducing. Remember, we said we want to make r the subject of formula. Now I need to take off r squared, capital letter r squared, away from this. And look at it now. The connection is addition, actually. Okay, no, it's subtraction though, but r squared is a positive number or positive letter. So I'm simply going to subtract r squared from both sides since it's a positive term. So if I subtract r squared from both sides, okay, let me take it this way, sorry. 2gh over w squared minus r squared equals to r squared minus r squared minus r squared. So you see, these two guys would cancel out each other. And then I'm going to be left with 2gh over w squared minus r squared equals to minus r squared, because this r squared, small letter r squared, is a negative letter. So the next thing I'm going to need to do now is to try to take off the sign. The negative sign needs to go off. So I'm going to divide through by -1 and -1. Then this is going to become minus 2gh over w squared minus r squared equals to r squared. Okay. Then I'm going to try to open the bracket. So when I open the bracket, this is going to multiply this and become a negative term, while this is going to become a positive term. So that becomes r squared plus, no, sorry, r squared minus 2gh over w squared equals to r squared. So I'm going to try to bring it up to this other side. So we have r squared minus 2gh over w squared equals to r squared. So remember that what we're looking for is r and not r squared. So I'm simply going to do take the square of both sides. If I take the square root, sorry, of both sides, then I'm going to get this. So this is going to cancel this. Then I'll be left with r squared minus 2h over w squared, all in a square root, equals to r. So making it the subject of formula, we can rearrange it this way. R squared minus 2gh over w squared square root. So this is the formula when small letter r is made the subject. Mind you, in some cases, you might decide to also readjust this term by making it a single fraction. How do you make it a single fraction? You just take the LCM of 1 and w square, and then you're going to get the square root of w squared r squared minus 2gh all over w. So it's either you're leaving your answer that way or you're leaving your answer this way, whichever one you're correct. Thank you.